Good day everybody, Sniper69 here, and today I'll be bringing you a Warspite commentary. This is in Ranked on the Asia server, which is where I play, and I'll be talking to you about a few things about playing Ranked and using the Warspite. It's been a while since my last commentary. Unfortunately, I was sick a while ago and I've fallen sick again, and my voice is a bit off. But I really wanted to do this commentary because what eventually ends up happening is quite phenomenal. So, I'm in my Warspite. I didn't really like this ship too much. I got it in a Santa crate last year for Christmas, and I played one game in it, and I hated the ship. This was before the turret traverse buff that improved the turret traverse from Yamato slow, which is about 70 seconds, to I think 45 or 50 seconds, something like that, which is, it makes the guns quite serviceable now. And this was before Ranked came out. So, and the game that I played was, I was up tiered against tier 8s, and the Warspite does not handle being up tiered particularly well. So in this game, the enemy DD, our DD contests a cap, finds spots the enemy DD that have a bit of a face off. I use my spotter plane to see behind the island and try and do as much damage as I can onto the DD, and I do about 3.4k on it. So, you know, in terms of ranked, we're in a really comfortable position. We have a cap secured. The enemy doesn't have a cap, and the remaining DD is on 3k HP or something, whilst our DD is on full HP. And this is where our DD makes a mistake. This is where our DD should have chilled out. He decides to shoot his guns, and he shot his guns around 1640, and let's see how long it takes him for him to die. Like in 10 seconds he's already on half HP, and 1640 was when he started shooting, and less than 20 seconds later he's dead. And the reason why is because he decided to shoot his guns without smoke, without cover, and in full, and he's giving his full broadside to a Leander who's smoked up at E4. And this is a mistake a lot of DD players make. They decide to use their guns in inopportune moments. If that Farragut was like really low HP, like when I say really low, I mean like less than 1k, and if that Farragut was quite close, like in like 7 kilometers, 6 kilometers from that Shinanomi, but yeah, by all means use your guns. But that Farragut is kiting away. He has like a 2 second or 3 second rudder shift. It's unlikely that a Shinanomi will hit. And the Shinanomi doesn't have like fantastic, it's not like Russian DD guns. They do slow down past 8 kilometers, and the Shinanomi has I think a base gun range of 9 kilometers or something. And I guess with AFT you can go up, but like when you're at those ranges, the gun arcs just slow down and the shells become a bit sloppy or floppy or whatever you want to call it. So back to the Warspite. Didn't really like this ship too much back when I played it for the one game that I played in randoms, and that's because I got up tiered. And against a Bismarck or a Tirpitz, this ship is absolutely garbage, right? Bismarck, Tirpitz, same number of guns, same caliber, 380mm, but those ships have like 5 kilometers extra gun range. Those ships are almost like, they can get almost as stealthy. The Warspite gets down to 11.9, which is very good considering the North Carolina gets down to 11.8. But the Tirpitz and Bismarck they get down to 12.3, and the Tirpitz and Bismarck travel at 30 knots. So those ships, I know they're 2 tiers higher, but they just completely outclass the Warspite. And when you're up tiered, this ship is not particularly fun. But in ranked, because everyone else is tier 6, then the ship becomes a bit more interesting. And despite the fact that to be honest we're losing, the enemy team has more points, but those are from kills. We still have a cap, but they have a DD still alive. They've got all their ships alive. We've lost a DD and a Cleveland, and the Cleveland had the right idea in terms of sitting near B and trying to ambush the DD, but that would have worked if our DD didn't die. Because our DD died, he's left out in the open with no cover, and of course, cruiser with no cover, it's going to get deleted by 4 battleships. And that's another thing about this ranked season. This ranked season, well, so far, is heavily BB dominated. You can see that we have 4 battleships on each team. Now, with 4 battleships on each team, you know, in a 7v7, I don't want to play a cruiser. Like, you just don't want to play a cruiser. Like, you're going to get deleted by something at long range. And you know, that Leander Nemesis on PC, I'm pretty sure he's a streamer or something. You know, he gets wrecked, and that's not because it's not really his fault. I mean, he had the right idea, but like, he has no armor. Like his HP pool is too low that he can't actually tank a hit. Which is why I don't really recommend playing cruisers this ranked season. Yeah, if you want to sit behind an island, yeah, you can do damage, but the problem with sitting behind an island is that you're not a presence on the map, which is an issue. Like, unlike a battleship where you can just like sit somewhere and everyone goes, oh crap, we can't do crap, right? So I decided that, you know, I'm gonna just sit here and keep this island as cover, and try and defend our A cap, because the enemy team doesn't have a cap yet. So I'm gonna sit here and just defend this cap for as long as I can, and I don't want to go out into the open, because, you know, I've played this map. This is, I think, Fault Line or something. I've played this map so many times in previous ranked seasons, and I've hated this map. Because the issue I have with this map is that for a heavy ship like a cruiser or battleship, once you go into the cap area, it's very hard to come out. And when I say come out, I mean, like, if you go into the middle area, it's hard to come out of that middle area alive, firstly, or it's hard to come out in a way where you can still be relevant. So, for example, if I pushed into the A cap right now, my only escape would be going through the gap around E3 and F3. That would be my only escape. But if I went through that gap, I won't be able to do anything. So, you know, that's one of the issues with this map. So either you take a central position or a good position where I'm in at the moment, or you go on some flanking maneuver. And unfortunately, all the battleships in this tier are super slow. That flanking maneuvers are not very good. I decided to take a shot at that Brioni. He's been a bit of a nuisance. So I set up my spotter plane to try and get a look around the island, but I'm not too sure if I can land a shot on him, but I need to take a shot. I'm cutting it close with this island, and the spotter plane lets me see him behind, and I can see the terrain hit indicator, but I need to take a shot anyway, and hopefully I can nail that light cruiser. Bang. Alright, so that kill was definitely worth it, because you know, less HE spam means our battleships can survive for longer. Unfortunately, that Brioni still burns down the Fuso, but now I'm in a position where they've got no cruisers, they've got battleships, and all those battleships have 356mm guns, which means I can go bow in and bounce everything, but they can't bounce my 380mm shells. So there's a New Mexico coming up, there's a Fuso really close, and another Fuso behind him. So, knowing this map and knowing my positioning and knowing that that I can go in and defend this cap whilst using the island ahead of me at E3, E4 as cover, I know I can push in, angle, and do lots of damage whilst not getting killed. Unfortunately, that New Mexico breaks my front turret and knocks out my front turret. So I'm in this position where I'm just firing as my guns kind of randomly. So for some reason I fire my second and third gun, don't use my fourth gun. My first gun repairs, and I use my first and fourth to land shells on this New Mexico, and I delete the New Mexico. So this is Warspite accuracy. So I only fired 4 shells, but 3 of them Citadel through the bow. And that's the overmatch and the accuracy of the Warspite. Unfortunately, I do take quite a bit of damage. I do need a bit more practice, but one of the big advantages of the Warspite is it's really tight turning circle, which allows you to do things which other battleships can't really, which is to shoot your broadside and then angle. Like your rudder shift and turning circle so good that you can fire your broadside, like fire your broadside, wiggle and hide your wiggle and angle in, and then once they fire, you can wiggle out. You fire your broadside again, and then wiggle and angle back in. The Fuso gets an amazing shot on that Farragut in the smoke. I tried shooting, but I only had my front gun, and that missed. But that's a very important kill, because what it means is that now going from a 5 versus 7, it's now a 3 versus 2, and we can take this fight. This game is potentially in the bag, especially because I can kill this Fuso on the left, and if my team can handle the Fuso on the right, we win, because they don't have any more ships left. Otherwise, what we can do is we can take, we can try and take B cap if those Fusos don't push, or if they don't do anything. But like, I'm just waiting for my guns to turn, so I'm ready to take a fight with this Fuso. And to be honest, I don't have to take this fight, but that Fuso is kind of in an awkward position where he's either going to sit there all game and not let us take B, or he's just gonna, or if I push him forward, like if I scare him off, he's gonna get more and more towards E3 and take himself out of the match, because he'll just be in some sort of inopportune location where he's no longer relevant behind an island. This is what I mean. Like, being behind an island, yeah, you survive for longer, but then you're not relevant. As opposed to, say, if you're in a smoke and you've pushed up and you're hiding in a smoke, that's completely different, because they know you're in the smoke. Whereas if you're behind an island, they know that you're not actually there, and you're not really a threat. So I landed a big salvo on the Fuso, 20k, and that Fuso is running away. I was hoping he'd show me broadside for a little bit longer, but unfortunately that was not the case, and I'm just hoping to kill him. Now the Fuso has 25mm bow and aft, so I take a shot at his bum, and unfortunately I don't kill him. But unfortunately I don't kill him. But I know I'll kill him with the next salvo for sure, because I shot him in the bum. The only issue I have to watch out for is the Fuso on my right, and that's why I decided to turn and show broadside to the Fuso on my left, because he only has 4 guns aiming at me, whereas the other Fuso has 12. And I'd rather take a chance against 4 guns as opposed to 12. And imagine if I'd kept sailing straight and showed broadside to this Fuso, I probably would have been deleted. It's actually quite hard to delete the Warspite, because you do have a turtleback. It's not a German thing, it's a lot of ships around this tier have turtlebacks and stuff. The Nagato has a turtleback, Mutsu has a turtleback, Warspite has a turtleback, Bayon has a turtleback. Nagato's T7, sorry, but these ships are considered quite tanky. You do take a lot of penetration damage, but the Warspite has this amazing heal, which like you can look at it, like it heals like 20% of the ship's HP. Unfortunately, I undershoot and shoot the water, but I was hoping to try, just get a quadruple citadel on this Fuso and win the game. So far, I've managed to get 4 kills. This game only has 7 ships, so if you killed 4 ships, you've killed more than half the enemy team. So I was hoping to try the citadel, but unfortunately, I'm not getting it. But I realized that the Fuso has grounded. Initially, I was going to use my guns the whole time, but then I didn't realize the Fuso had grounded, and I decided, if he's grounded and he's not moving, I can be a bit cheeky, and I can initiate ramming speed. So this poor Fuso is helpless on a rock. That's the problem with the Fuso, because the rudder shift and turning circle is not as good, so you tend to like hit stuff which you don't expect to. And this Fletcher goes nice one at the end. I mean, of course, like I carried, but like if he had just played a bit more careful and he was a bit more chilled out, we would have won hands down quite easily. So that's the game. Thanks for watching. Here are the scoreboard. Here are the scorecards, and Warspite's a very strong ship in ranked, and DDs need to be a little bit more considerate about when they use their guns, so they don't die stupid and horrible deaths. Thanks for watching.